Mr. Speaker, Afghanistan is one more front in this global struggle. In the fall of 2021, a little over 2 years ago, and before many other aspects of this escalating Cold War had taken place, Afghanistan was abandoned by the West and then overrun by the Taliban, an internationally recognized terrorist group. The Western pullout from Afghanistan was not the result of battlefield defeats. Rather, the Western pullout was the result of that pernicious virus in which foreign policy debates in the democratic world seem uniquely susceptible: fatigue. Many of us are too optimistic in wishing to believe that our struggles for freedom and justice will be quick and easy. We react to initial needs with eagerness, but our interest tapers off as the events in question are no longer in the news. And eventually people start to ask themselves, why is that still going on? Is that thing over there still happening? Fatigue in foreign policy explains the odd habit among free nations of sometimes abandoning a task when it is almost complete. While maybe psychologically understandably, this is strategically inexplicable, allowing the reversal of critical gains at the point at which most of the work has in fact already been done. In Afghanistan, by the time of the pullout, the Afghan army was able to fight back against the Taliban with relatively limited Western air support. Far from constituting a forever war, limited backup support at a relatively low cost was sustaining the Afghan army and the Afghan government. In a sense, the task was almost complete. The Afghans were fighting for their own future in circumstances that required some but limited Western support. But arbitrarily pulling these last elements of Western support created a hole in the dam, and the Taliban flooded in. Free peoples must not allow themselves to be overcome by fatigue when steadfastness and strategic patience can instead finish the job. If we needed to learn that lesson again, I hope we apply it in today's ongoing struggles in other places. Our strategic foes in every part of the world, particularly in the Kremlin, hope that we will be overcome by fatigue and abandon our posts in more countries, opening the door to the further expansion of injustice and tyranny. The invocation of fatigue is particularly striking to me when used to explain the behaviors of countries or individuals who are not actually involved in or doing the fighting, which was the position of many countries by the time of 2021. Even countries that were involved were committing far fewer troops than many other theaters around the world. If some felt fatigue about the length of the conflict in Afghanistan, or if we feel fatigue today because of how long the war has gone on in Ukraine, then imagine how the people of Afghanistan and Ukraine felt and feel. If they, in the midst of the intensity and violence of their struggles, are prepared to persist in their own bloody fights for their freedom, then the least we can do is have their back. If we needed to learn again about the dangers of this so-called fatigue, then I hope Afghanistan has taught us well. Afghanistan was abandoned and so fell to the complete control of a terrorist organization. This terrorist organization, though having its own particular genesis and ideological orientation, has unsurprisingly fallen quickly into partnership with the world's authoritarian bloc.